Welcome, fellow freaks, geeks, and nostalgic peeps, to my channel, Slime and Slashers, where, we talk about everything from Nickelodeon slime to horror movie slashers, but plenty of stuff in between, including books. Today's video, we're going to be talking specifically about my book club, the Midnight Book Society. We will be talking about all the freaking books we're going to read for my book club for the rest of freaking 2023. So stay right where you are if you're curious. And after the short intro, we'll come back and we'll go through with you guys all of the books. Welcome back, guys. You see my earrings? Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill, Bill, Bill. But maybe we should be saying, instead of Bill, we should be chanting, books, 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 because we're going to be talking about a lot of books today that we'll be reading for the Midnight Book Society. P.S. guys, my good friend, Lexi, she said she's going to work on a logo for my book club. I'm so excited. I asked her if she would do it, and she said yes. I think the logo I have now is okay, but I'm not absolutely in love with it, and I think Lexi designs the cutest freaking things for her readathons and her events, so I was like, can you please design me something cool? So there's nothing like in the works yet in terms of there's no cemented or rough draft of a logo right now, but that's just something to look forward to in the future, just giving you guys a little idea of there's new logo coming and I'm excited about it, so woohoo! But without further ado, let's go through all of the months for the rest of the year, and I will tell you guys what we'll be reading for each month. Okay, for the month of June, I've already announced that our book club pick will be Beloved. And don't forget, guys, that I do have a Discord, which is open to the public. It is free. Anyone can join. And there will be discussion areas for all of these books on that Discord. Some of these books I will have live shows about, and of course the live shows will have spoilers. Some of these books will not have live shows and will only have an area on the Discord to discuss. Some months I will have multiple books, and you could choose to read one, the other, or all of the books for the month. It's all up to you. Do as little as you want, do as much as you want, and again, it's all very loose and very fun. Alright, so Beloved for June, and this is a very powerful book I've heard, and I'm so excited to read it. There is an audiobook available in case you are intimidated. That might be helpful. I think I will use an audiobook along with the book as I read physically, so I think that will be a good way to read it. By the way, these books were all picked out by different members of my Patreon channel, so if you want a chance to pick out a book in the future, you could think about joining at any level, and that gets you an opportunity to be put on the wheel. I spin the wheel every month. It chooses a person, that person is able to nominate a book for my public book club. And once that person is chosen, I take the name off the list so that everyone else has a chance to be chosen for the next month. So this year's already set, but next year there's opportunity for anybody on my Patreon to choose what we read. Alright, so July was chosen by my friend Amy over at the channel Amy Noel Reads. She is a Patreon member of mine, and she chose Touch the Night by Max Booth III. This is so cool. This cover reminds me of Stranger Things. It is a chunker, but it doesn't look like it's got super small font or anything, so I'm not worried. And the premise sounds really good.
Mother, mother, rise from the ground.
Stranger Things and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre unite to form a blood-soaked matrimony of violence and corruption. Ooh.
Something sinister is hiding in the small town of Percy, Indiana, and 12-year-old Joshua Washington and Alonzo Jones are about to find themselves up close and personal with it. After a harmless night of petty property damage leads to the unthinkable, the red and blue lights of a cop car are the last things the boys want to see, especially a cop car driven by something not quite human. Enter Mary Washington and Otessa Jones. Their sons have been best friends for years, and now Josh and Alonzo have been abducted in the dead of night. Worst of all, the local sheriff refuses to believe they're missing, leaving it up to Mary and Otessa to take the law into their own hands before a family of ungodly lunatics can complete a ritual decades in the making. Together, they will embark on a surreal and violent journey into a land of corrupt law enforcement, small town secrets, gravitational oddities, and ancient Black Magic.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's get to this book. I'm so excited. So again, this will definitely have a live show, and Amy agreed to co-host since she has a YouTube channel as well, and she happened to be the one chosen to pick out the book. It worked out perfectly, so this will be July's pick. We will have a live show probably in August after the month is over, and I can't wait. For August, there are 3 different book choices. You could read 1, 2, or all 3. It's up to you. There will be 3 different discussion areas on Discord, but I probably won't have a live show for every single one of these books. My friend Kelly from Kelly Hooked on Books, check out her channel, she offered to co-host with me, so I will have at least one live show. I just don't know which book. I know she wants to read All Heads Turn When the Hunt Goes By, which is one of the books, but I don't know if that's the one she wants to have the live show for. So let me go through with you all 3 of the books right now. First off, we have Fear by Ronald Kelly, and I'm excited about this one. So Fear is from 1994. That's when it was first published. It has a 4.3 on Goodreads, which is pretty darn good, out of 303 ratings. And the description says,
"It was a legend in Fear County, a hideous flesh-eating creature, part snake, part earthbound demon, that feasted on the blood of innocent children in the cold, black heart of the Tennessee backwoods. But 10-year-old Jeb knows the horrible stories are true. His best friend Mandy just up and disappeared. He also knows that no one has ever had the courage to go after the monster and put an end to its raging bestial hunger until now. But evil is well guarded, and for young Jeb, who is about to cross over into the forbidden land of Fear County, and the lair of the unknown, passage through the gates of hell comes with a terrible price. Everlasting fear!"
This is available on audio, and you can buy a used copy. However, I don't see this as a Kindle copy, and I do not see this as a new edition either, so this might be a little more difficult to find. Next up, kind of a chunky book, it's Stinger by Robert R. McCammon, my favorite author of all time. This book was recommended to me by Andrew from It Came From the Page. Check out his channel. So essentially, Stinger is an alien novel of sorts. The description says,
McCammon's novel takes place during a single 24-hour period in Inferno, Texas. Inferno is a town in trouble, driven to the brink by racial tension, gang violence, and a collapsing economy. But things can always get worse, and they do so with astonishing speed when an unidentified spacecraft crash lands in the desert outside of town, followed by a second craft bearing the alien being who will soon be known as Stinger. Stinger is a kind of interstellar hunter on a mission he intends to complete, whatever the cost. He brings with him an endless array of technological marvels and an infinite capacity for destruction that threaten the existence of Inferno, its inhabitants, and the larger world beyond.
This book was originally published in 1988. It is available on Kindle Unlimited, and there's also an Audible exclusive audiobook as well. And the final book choice for August is All Heads Turn When the Hunt Goes By John Ferris. I've never read anything by John Ferris, but this is on my 23 books to read in 2023. At least it's on the vintage paperback list that I have. I have 2 23 and 2023 lists. Exclusively, one is all vintage books, and so this is on that list. And I'm very excited to get to it because I've heard a lot of things about it. I know that a military wedding is a part of the plot, but let me tell you the Goodreads description real quick.
The affair is a military wedding, but what begins with marriage vows will end in the echoing screams of the damned, in spilled blood and sobbing throat-aching terror. For the Bradwin family history is rooted not in antebellum mansions, not in magnolia and honeysuckle, but in ancient evil, supernatural sorcery, darkest Africa, and in frightening forces from beyond the grave.
Sounds like a good time. This, let's see, was originally published in 1977, and it has a 3.61 on Goodreads, and I'm very much looking forward to it. You can find it on Kindle, but you do have to search for it on Amazon. Don't use the Goodreads link that says buy on Amazon. Go to Amazon, type in All Heads Turn When the Hunt Goes By, and that will bring up the Kindle version, and that will bring up the audiobook version that you can find. So that's probably the best way. So check that out if you're interested. Read all 3, read 1 of the 3, read 2 of the 3, it doesn't matter. Join in and do as much as you want. There will be 3 discussion places on Discord, as I said, and at least 1 live show, probably in the month after August. Next up is the September book club pick, which was chosen by Lexi from Books with Lexi. And this is cool because I'm very excited about this. It's going to be a newer release, which I don't always like doing for my book club. But essentially, this book is supposed to come out in August, so we'll be reading it in September. It should be available for everybody. And I'm very, very, very excited about it. So, of course, Lexi chose the new Catriona Ward book, which is called Looking Glass Sound. And I cannot wait to read this. Again, it should be coming out in August, so by September it should be available. It has a 3.93 rating on Goodreads right now, and the premise is...
In a lonely cottage overlooking the windswept Maine coast, Wilder Harlow begins the last book he will ever write. It is the story of his childhood summer companions and the killer that stalked the small New England town, of the body they found, and the horror of that discovery echoing down the decades, and of Skye, Wilder's one-time best friend who stole his unfinished memoir and turned it into a lurid best-selling novel, Looking Glass Sound. But as Wilder writes, the lines between memory and fiction blur. He fears he's losing his grip on reality when he finds notes hidden around the cottage written in Skye's signature green ink. Catriona Ward delivers another mind-bending and cleverly crafted tale about one man's struggle to come to terms with the terrors of his past before it's too late.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And Lexi will be a co-host for the live show, which will take place in October sometime. Okay, and speaking of October, there are 3 books for October, 2 official books, and 1 is like an optional book that will only have a discussion area on Discord. It will not have a live show for sure. So let me tell you about each one. Alright, so the first official book club pick is Apartment 5 is Alive by Russell Atwood. It is on KU and it does have an audiobook available, so that's good and very helpful. The second official book club pick is a short story collection. It is Dead Leaves, 9 Tales from the Witching Season by Keelan Patrick Burke. And the optional read is Death Rituals by Josh Hancock. It is on KU, but it doesn't have an audio, but the synopsis just sounded so intriguing to me, so I had to put it as an optional book, because I think I'll be reading it anyway. So why not just make a discussion area on Discord? It takes like 2 seconds to make a discussion area. So maybe if anyone wants to join in, we could just chat there. Alright, so let's go through the descriptions of each one of these, starting with Apartment 5 is Alive by Russell Atwood. It has a 4.17 rating on Goodreads, but only 12 people have rated it. The synopsis says,
It's a different kind of haunted house novel. Spanning 6 decades, this book tells the story of a small apartment in the Lower East Side of Manhattan with big ideas, especially when it comes to Halloween.
Dead Leaves, 9 Tales from the Witching Season by Keelan Patrick Burke has a 3.63 out of 1,492 ratings. Essentially, all the stories are Halloween themed, so it's perfect for that time of year. I know short story collections are not everyone's jam, but I figured why not have this as a pick. It was chosen by one of my Patreon members, and I'm very excited to get to it because I have recently read 2 novellas by Keelan Patrick Burke, and I loved them both and gave them both 5 stars. And they were Sour Candy and Blanky. Super great novellas, very quick reads, but very powerful and entertaining reads nonetheless. So yeah, I'm excited to get to a whole collection of short stories from him, and again, it'll be perfect reading for that time of year. We will not have a live show for this, we will just have a discussion area on Discord. And last, the other book that will just have a Discord area, Death Rituals by Josh Hancock. It has a 4.5 rating on Goodreads, but only 8 ratings. Very, very, kind of underrated in terms of there's not a lot of people who have gone and rated it, or read it, apparently.
When Sherry Alvarez was a child, a moment of shocking violence shattered her world into 1,000 bloody pieces. Plagued by nightmares and taunted by schoolyard bullies, the young girl spent years recovering from what law enforcement described as a sickening and gruesome act of evil. Now, a college student, Sherry has found solace in film, theater, and all the beloved traditions of the Halloween season. But when she and her friends participate in an immersive, extreme haunted attraction, Sherry must once again break the chains of victimhood and face the open wounds of her past. After enduring one man's twisted vision of horror and perversion, Sherry finds herself challenged by a cult-like force determined to destroy her. What follows is a singular night of grueling terror, calculated revenge, and backwoods slaughter.
Sounds amazing. It is on Kindle Unlimited, and that's awesome because it's easy to find. Okay, and last but not least, November. You might be saying, that's not the last month of the year. Well, yes, but I and a whole bunch of other people will be co-hosting Christmas Evil in December, so when December rolls around, I think we're going to have a group read, and I'm just going to encourage everyone to read the group read, and I'm not going to have an official book club pick for that month. I'm going to take that month off for the Midnight Book Society, and we'll pick back up in January of 2024. So November will be our last official book club read for the year 2023. And November, one of my Patreon members chose Corpse Mouth and Other Autobiographies by John Langan. John Langan wrote The Fisherman, which my friend Katrina loved, and I do want to read that, so hopefully I can get to that this year too. But I'm very excited to check out this collection of stories, and it seems like it's a very diverse collection of stories. It's got a very high rating on Goodreads. It's got 4.30 average out of 251 ratings, which is pretty darn good. Here's some descriptions of the stories.
A family's Halloween haunted house becomes a conduit for something ancient and uncanny. A young man's effigy of a movie monster becomes instrumental in his defense against a bully. A family diminishes while visiting a seaside town, leaving only one to remember what changed. A father explores a mysterious tower and the monster imprisoned within. A man mourning the death of his father travels to his father's hometown, seeking closure, but finds himself beset by dreams of mythic bargains and a primeval corpse-eating titan.
I'm so excited to dig into John Langan's work, and I hope you guys will join me. Alright guys, that is all of our reads for the rest of the year for the Midnight Book Society. I hope you guys will join me for some of the months that maybe intrigue you. I am very, very excited. Have you guys read any of these already? Are you looking forward to participating? Please comment below, because you guys know I love hearing from you and hearing what you guys think. Alright, for this time though, that is it for me, guys. Just remember, books, 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 reading rules instead of science rules like Bill Nye would say. Anyway, this time, that is it for me. Till next time, you guys know what you can do. Keep on killing it. Bye, guys.